The Springford Area School District is looking for a new logo to be used for RamWatch, formerly known as FriendWatch. RamWatch is designed for any student or parent to notify school officials of a friend who may be in need of help or may be considering self-harm. RamWatch allows a safe and anonymous way to watch out for those friends. The student-created logo should relay a sense of trust while incorporating Springford pride. Visit the Springford website for contest details and the submission deadline.
Thank you. Public to be heard on agenda items only. Okay, we have a presentation this evening. Ms. Dr. Patchke.
Good evening. We're here tonight with several of our staff members and several students to present some information on the Great Kindness Challenge. Upper Providence would love to take the pride and joy of saying that this was our thing, but it's not ours. It's something that we've joined and something that we've connected to that goes across our nation in hundreds of schools and with thousands of children. We're going to learn more about the Great Kindness Challenge in just a bit by our very own kindness heroes. But before that, we have challenged all the students in our building to do acts of kindness. And tonight, you're going to be some of the first recipients of that kindness. So the students with us tonight are representing our student council, and each of them have written a personal note to a school board member and to thank you for all you do, all the service you give, and everything that comes from the heart for being in this position.
Good evening, Good evening, school board and community members. My name is Jenna from Upper Providence Elementary. Our student council members are here tonight to present our board with an act of kindness in honor of the Great Kindness Challenge. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of the students at Springford.
Now, school board, they know you by name, they know some of the things that you like, but they don't know you by face. So if you hear your name, please stand.
Hi, my name is Kira, and I made a card for Miss Heaney.
Hi, my name is Holly, and I wrote a card to Mr. DeBello. Hi, my name's Anna, and I wrote a card to Mrs. Zazowski. Hi, my name's Olivia, and I wrote a card for Miss Melton. Hi, my name's Jake, and I wrote a card for Mr. Jackson. Hello, my name's Chase, and I wrote a card for Mr. Dennert. Hi, my name is John, and I wrote a letter for Dr. Dressler.
Hi, my name is David, and I made a card for Mr. Pettit.
Hello, my name is Arul Murthy, and I made a card for Mrs. Fazzini.
Hi, my name is Rustam, and I made a card for Dr. Gooden.
So Rustam knows that he wouldn't be here tonight. If he could give it to Dr. Roach.
Hello, my name is Johnny, and I wrote a card from Dr. Roach. Hi, my name is Johnny. Thank you for having us tonight and allowing to spread kindness. We hope you know how much you are appreciated. Be kind this week and always.
So now we're going to turn over the program to our superheroes at Upper Providence.
I'll need that in a little bit. Good evening, Springford community. My name is Captain Kindness. I come here tonight to spread kindness to all of you, and I appreciate your time. At Upper Providence, we started the Great Kindness Challenge about 4 years ago in an effort to strengthen the community that we had at our school, to bring more kindness and friendship among the staff and among the students. The Great Kindness Challenge started out in San Diego in 2011, and it started by a parent and a daughter. And they wanted to bring more positivity and strong relationships to their community and to their schools. And so we had followed suit back in 2015 and have continued this every single year. Over the past 3 years, Upper Providence students and staff have worked together to bring a sense of pride to our school. We have accomplished over 9,000 recorded kind acts. Last year, we challenged our students to meet 2,000 kind acts, and they blew us out of the water, and they had over 4,900 acts of kindness last year. Each year, the students are given a checklist like the one up on the screen with 50 items to complete. And then they can complete as many as they'd like. They can complete one or none or 50. And some will even go beyond that and complete more. We've asked our students to complete these kind acts each year. And when they do, they turn them in. And last year, we decided that though we were having a lot of fun with the 1 week of the Great Kindness Challenge, we decided to extend that to be 2 weeks long. And this year, we are going to continue to follow suit with that and have a 2-week-long challenge for our students. So I have 4 students here tonight that are going to talk a little bit about the Great Kindness Challenge checklist, what they find important to them, and why that challenge is important. We got my 4. Check. So first I have Jenna here, and she's going to share why the Great Kindness Challenge checklist is important to her, one thing that she has accomplished on that checklist, and why she finds value in that.
What I find interesting about it is I clean the outside of my house and pick up garbage.
Thank you.
So I helped my little sister learn how to ride a bike, and that helped me because now I can go on bike rides with her.
One afternoon I went to my friend's house and he needed help with his homework, so I helped him. But even though it's small, I like spending time with my friend, and helping him with his homework made me feel good. So, yeah.
I donated, I spended some of my spare change to the church that they donated to the poor. And I think it's great because some people don't have as much money as I do, so it's great for them to have houses and clothes and food.
So last week, we kicked off our Great Kindness Challenge with our assembly. And for the first time, I really saw more joy and more excitement from all of our students. And though we've always had fun with this in the past, you could just see it in their faces. You could hear it in their voices with their laughter and their smiles. And it was really encouraging to see how far this has come in our 4th year at Upper Providence.
So at our school, we have three superheroes. We have Captain Kindness, Gratitude Girl, and Mindful Man, and they all spread kindness throughout our school during the Great Kindness Challenge week and throughout the school year.
As Captain Kindness said, I'm Gratitude Girl. And one of the things that I like about the Great Kindness Challenge is that in our day and age, we hear a lot about concerns for bullying. And I feel that this initiative really counteracts that. Encouraging children to be kind to one another directly counteracts those negative things. And so I really feel that the positive energy in our school these 2 weeks and the whole rest of the year is really great. So then we also have morning announcements that lead up to our Great Kindness Challenge. The heroes sometimes make little appearances for fun. And then we have, like Captain Kindness said, we have our kickoff assembly. And we do some cheers and all kinds of fun things at the assembly. In 2016, we did a door decorating contest. And the kids got really involved and excited in doing that. We have school displays all throughout the building. Every year we change it, and we keep it fun. But it's always kid-involved art, whether it's sidewalk chalk or them painting their hands on the windows. We have a lot of fun with our displays. Okay, we also have the kindness card. John's going to tell you a little bit about that.
At recess during the Great Kindness Challenge, we are able to create and check things off our challenge list using the kindness cart. The kindness cart is a cart with art supplies and materials that you can make things. For example, I made a bookmark with a message for a friend, cards, pictures, superhero masks, and then many other things. The kindness cart is fun, and the superheroes are always there to help us if we need it.
So as part of I'm Mindful Man, by the way. As part of what we do as well is we have Unity Days in January that focus on kindness, but we kick off the year and we have 3 to 4 Unity Days where we do elements of teamwork that are grade level based, and Mrs. Hausman and Mr. Mest run those days and keep the kids moving with fun activities, whether it's art, whether it's movement, whether it's different creativity, and then part of it is also reflection and processing. And this year, with some of the kindness here, as you see up here, this was last year. We did superheroes. Our second graders created superheroes. They came up with superpowers and kind superpowers of how they could spread kindness. We came up with the Hall of Kindness, where they were gathered in teams, and which was a lot of fun. The kids had a blast. And then we in the spring, we build on it and do. We had a theme of gratitude where we had we identified 5 people who we wanted to thank and pay gratitude for the year. So it's something that we build on throughout the year. The kindness doesn't end, and it also includes at the beginning of the year, we talk about the UPE 5, which is our pro-social pledge and what we do every day. And thinking about respecting the rights of others, being honest, focused on what's important, giving each other kind feedback, and participating to the best of their ability. And all those things, are reinforced throughout the day from our staff, and students practice it. And along the way, we have a lot of fun. And that's part of it. And I mean, we want to keep kids smiling, keep our students smiling and having fun and enjoying. So, okay, our Spirit Days.
So we have a lot of different spirit days during week of the Great Kindness Challenge, and some of them are like Team Kindness. You wear your athletic team gear, and then the Kindness Rocks is we dress up like a rock star. We have a lot of fun during that.
So at the end of the Great Kindness Challenge, we like to have a little celebration and celebrating all the kind acts that we've accomplished. And last year we had a Pokemon dance party. As you can see, Pokemon showed up. It was really fun. And last year, as I mentioned earlier, we completed 4,983 acts of kindness. It was really important for us to celebrate those acts of kindness and celebrate all the hard work that the kids have done to share that with our community. And this year, we've challenged our students to accomplish more than 5,000 kind acts.
So this year, our Kindness Unity Day focused on a book, and the book was called Superheroes of Service by Ulysse Toussaint. And it's based on the story of one of our former UPE students who's now a senior in high school, Katie Nespor. And her story of service began when the earthquakes in Haiti had caused wide destruction. And Ulysse was originally from Haiti, and his family they couldn't find him. And he was talking to his church about it, and Katie went to his church. Katie asked her family if they could help him to get back to Haiti to try to find his grandmother. So they came up with that project, and they got money. He went back to Haiti, found his grandmother, and they saw firsthand what the destruction was. Katie then decided, using her super skill of making jewelry, that they would start to have jewelry parties. And they started to donate all the money that they made. They bought the beads from Haiti, donate all the money back to the relief effort. And Katie actually eventually went and spent time in Haiti building houses, met some of the met some of the people who were there, and they became characters in the book. And we talked to kids about what are their super skills, during this time as we read the book with them, and how could they use their super skills to give back and show that kindness matters. And also part of it was when we complete the Great Kindness Challenge, there's a challenge as well for 21 good deeds, 21 plus 1 good deeds that we will put out to our classroom teachers and families, in addition to the Great Kindness Challenge acts, the 50 acts that we already have asked the students to do. So to keep it going forward, paying it forward, and having the students understand what giving back and showing that kindness matters. So it was a great piece, and the kids had fun hearing the story and listening, and we also we discussed ways as they use their superpowers, how could they do that? As simple as if you're at a sports practice and your brother is playing, and maybe you help play goalie, or you collect foul shots, or you stay for an extra gym class or a gymnastics class and help a younger group. Those are simple things that the kids could do to give back. So
we're going to wrap this up right now. So boys and girls, thank you for your time today, and thank you for everything that you do at our school, and we know you're going to be the models of kindness. Dr. Roach, did you want to come up?
Let's have a nice round of applause for our students, for our superheroes, and for Dr. Patchke. You guys want to slide back a little bit? Were there any questions from the board for the presentation before I move on to the second presentation?
I would just like to say I think it's really great, and I don't know if even the kids or the rest of us even sometimes consider the effect it has on other people around you. So I saw that checklist and was looking over that before, and I thought to myself, it was really great. So I actually printed it and put it on my refrigerator for my kids. But the one thing that stood out in there was about smiling at other people. And sometimes when you smile at them and you walk away, you don't know if that's going to affect their whole day. It could mean something to a stranger. You have no idea. So I would bet that 4,900 acts of kindness could probably be well over 5,000. Because just doing something like that could make somebody else want to do it for no reason other than it felt good. So thank you very much, and thanks for sharing that with us tonight.
Thank you for trying to achieve a higher goal each and every year. I know it gets more difficult and you think, wow, can we do this? Can we do this? But you've got a great start. You've done a great job putting this all together, and the years that you've been doing this have obviously helped to provide a great basis, and you've got a great thing going on, and I like that it is spreading through the entire district this year, and using UPE as a model for that. You're right, Colleen, the checklist is absolutely amazing. It's a great tool to take, not even during this whole week, but just to keep in mind every day of your life, because doing those little things really do make a difference. So thank you to all of you as well.
Dr. Patrick, how many students do you have in your school now?
Just over 430.
So you've been averaging roughly about 10, 11 acts of kindness per student. Have you noticed that it's actually gotten to the point now where the kids are just doing it, not even thinking about it?
Absolutely. It has changed our culture in the sense that we've always had a base of positivity, but what I see is the empowerment of student voice. So right now, if I went through and zigzagged through this crowd and asked them to give you acts of kindness that they see every day, they absolutely could do that. Not only do we coach them, but I applaud every parent that's here right now, because that's where it starts. We just reinforce all these amazing things that they're taught in their homes, and we work with them on how to get along with people that are not in their families, but in our schools. So, and what I know is they're going to grow up and be these amazing students that we have at our high school, and it'll be part of our community.
Has to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
This is great. This is a wonderful presentation. There's so many different things going on in Spring-Ford, and this is why we ask, each of the schools to come, to the board meetings and present these ideas or these concepts, because school is more than just, from a academic, math, science, and whatever. There's all these other things that are going on, and this is really special. So great job, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hear, hear.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next presentation, and I'm going to ask the students just to hang tight because I need your help in a second. January 2018 is School Director Recognition Month. Each January, we pause to salute a group of 9 people who spend dozens of hours each month voluntarily leading our district. These 9 people take the initiative to support our students, our families, and our overall community, and value the education of every student. Late night meetings, endless emails and conversations, and the challenge of making difficult decisions regarding finances, programming, and the direction of the Spring-Ford Area School District are just a few activities that the school board members love to do. We at Spring-Ford are extremely fortunate to have 9 dedicated and energetic school board directors that are seated around the board table tonight. We can never thank them enough for their time, sacrifices, professionalism, and commitment to our district. At the very least, we can recognize and show our appreciation to all of our school board directors. So please join me in a round of applause to recognize our 2018 School Board of Directors. This time, you guys could sit tight. I'm going to ask the students from Upper Providence that just presented to walk you up a small token of our appreciation. So please accept this as appreciation.
This one.
Thank you very much. But before you open your bag, because I can see you guys are ready to rip into it, I'd like to take everyone back a few months to a previous school board meeting. I do not recall the exact date of the meeting, but one of our meetings prior to this, the settlement of the teacher contract stood out to me as a turning point and something that stuck with me, and I want to kind of address that tonight with what's in your thank you bag there. There was a school board member that made a comment that rung true, and I want to know if anyone thinks they know who the school board director was that made a comment that would tie it with the bag. That's what's inside the bag.
Colleen Zazowski.
Colleen Zazowski, thank you, that's correct. At this particular meeting, the audience was filled with many faculty members and members of the community, and here's what Mrs. Zazowski said. She commented that she appreciated what was said and felt that the comments echoed a lot what the board feels, as well as many of them have or had children in the district and could not thank the teachers enough. Mrs. Zazowski stated that they must also find a balance that is the job and the board is tasked with. Mrs. Zazowski commented that her understanding is that the talks are continuing and that she does not feel that it has to be a one-sided issue. She also expressed her love for the teachers that her daughter has had and would not want to see any of them replaced. She stated that she wants the best for the teachers and for the district, and that is why she is here. She commented that rather this be a side versus side issue, she would rather see them coming together as a whole. She asked that the board also have a T-shirt, as they are all on the same page and wanting the best for the district, including the teachers. So that rung true with me, Colleen, that something to bring everyone together, and I appreciate that. So if you could quickly open your bag and pull out your T-shirt there. No. If the size is wrong, you can let me know. But these are one-of-a-kind, hot off the press, first print edition new shirts. On the front it says, I Heart Spring Forward. And on the back it lists all the schools and a hashtag about Spring Forward Pride that will be available. It will be available out in the general public fairly soon. But we wanted to thank you. And if you guys wouldn't mind coming around the front with your shirt and hold it up so we can get a nice picture, as well as the students, if you could join us in with the school board directors for this picture, that would be great.
Well, thank you for the wonderful recognition. I know as a school board member myself, it is an interesting position. But what makes it worthwhile is when we have presentations like this evening that we saw with the kids, and that makes it all worthwhile. So that was definitely a great presentation, and I'm glad I'm part of this board, and look forward to the upcoming year, because I think we have a lot of exciting things that we're going to be accomplishing in 2018. Okay, everyone ready to move on? All right, we're going to jump into committee reports. Curriculum technology.
Okay, I'm giving a very abridged report because I was one of the fortunate ones who had meetings every night last week. So I'm going to go over the two things that are on the agenda. First is the curriculum committee has put forth to approve the AP 3D Studio Art course, and this is actually for the 1920 school year. The reason that this is on the agenda so early is because of the requirements of this course. At the end of the course, there's so much detail that's needed that the kids actually need more than a full year to put together their portfolio, which will be a culmination of this class. So that's why this is on there. It is in the course selection book as pending approval, so the kids are hoping this is coming, and we're really excited from a curriculum standpoint to add another AP art course. The second thing that is on there from a curriculum standpoint is also very exciting, and that is we're asking for approval to work with the Montgomery County IU to bring a pre-K counts program to our school district. The only cost to our district for this program is the classroom, the use of the classrooms. This program is run entirely by the IU. They even go out and help to find the kids that need this type of a program. So this is a very exciting thing. It will happen based on a grant. So hopefully the IU gets the grant and will get funded for this. We're looking for 1 to 2 classrooms. The schools are to be determined, but they have some thoughts around it. But again, it's kind of grant dependent, and we'll flesh that out as we get more details that go forward. And that's all my report.
Any questions or comments? Just quickly, the AP class that we're adding, what does this bring us up to as far as number of AP courses now?
I knew you were going to ask that, so I was quickly counting in my head. I think it's 26, but I'll come back to you after I correct myself.
No, I mean, 25, 26, right? But the reason I ask is because that was a mission that we started several years ago. I guess back in like 2009 or 10, we were at like 11 AP courses, and we just put a goal in place.
I've been on the current committee the entire 6 years, just saying, and we've added quite a few in that time.
Right, so. Regularly. Okay, so I think that's what I'm saying, but anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is wonderful that we're up, and this goes a long way to, why we're on why Spring-Ford's been successfully being on the AP honor roll as well over the last several years, so this is really exciting. And as far as the pre-K program at the IU, sitting on the IU board, this was something that the IU took over, I guess it's 2 years ago now. And is it 2 years or 3 years, Kim, do you know?
It's 2. They started with a program at Norristown,
right,
and this year they expanded to North Penn, so next year would be their 3rd year.
And it's been very successful in those other districts, so it's really exciting that we're going to be bringing that to Spring-Ford as well. And I don't think there's going to be an issue with getting the grant. Extracurricular, Mr. Dennert. Oh, I skipped policy. Well, I don't know how I did that. Policy.
So I have policy, but before I talk about policy, I just want to thank everybody here and Dr. Roach for those words that he just said, and for the T-shirts, because I love them. And yeah, I guess sometimes you say things you don't know if it'll make a difference, but I'm glad it stuck, because that is how I continue to feel. That it shouldn't be sides, that we work all together. So that being said, we did work very hard in policy. Last Wednesday, January 17th, was the meeting at 7:30. I, of course, was there along with Dr. Roach, Mrs. Haney, and Mr. Dennert, who is officially on the policy committee this year, and along with Mr. Crumley from the community. So we, and Dr. Gooden was there also. So we had a full agenda last week. We talked about many things. One of the first pieces we talked about was a review of PSBA policy 103 and 104, as well as the current Spring-Ford policies and what the coordinating numbers are there. So not that any of you will know what specific policies I'm referring to. I'm going to tell you that it's non-discrimination in school and classroom practices. So it's pretty detailed, and what it is PSBA wants us to look at what we have now and make some adjustments in terms of not discriminating. So the committee does have homework to review the policies and to take feedback back to the next meeting in February. We also spent some time on the use of facilities policy, which has been ongoing review of that policy. We did review the numbers that were provided to us by Mr. Fink, and we also looked at a draft of the rental fee and the service charges, and we made the distinction between those two items. We would like Mr. Fink to come to the February meeting, so you are cordially invited to come to the February meeting, please, to just give us further clarification on some of those numbers. We moved a few items to a first reading this evening. You'll see those listed soon for field trips, educational trips, and assessment of student progress. We did talk about bullying and cyberbullying only briefly, and Dr. Gooden shared that he has formed an anti-bully committee and that they will review that policy and provide some feedback to the committee in February or March. We did defer public complaints, anonymous communications, and child abuse to the February agenda, as we had spent so much time on the other items. Meeting concluded a little bit later than expected, but it was very productive, and so I think that's about it, unless anybody has any questions.
Okay, extracurricular now, Mr. Dennert.
Okay, the meeting was held Wednesday, January 17th. There were 16 people in attendance, including 4 students and 4 board members, Christina Melton, Linda Fazzini, Dawn Haney, and myself, and some administrators as well. The meeting had basically 2 presentations. One was on Ram Buddies. Mrs. DeLange, who is one of the supervisors for that club, she and 4 students made a presentation where they went over what the goal of the club is, which is to provide opportunities for students, encourage the strengthening of social skills and a chance to establish positive peer relationships. So basically the club has activities for the special needs students, and it gives a chance for both the students on the club and the special needs students to interact and make friends. That was one of the comments that the students that attended said that they get to make a lot of friends that they otherwise wouldn't get to meet. The club has many monthly activities, which mainly includes playing various games with the mentors and the buddies. And they also have some activities that are pretty big, like going to Reading Phillies game and having lunch with their buddies, and the big year-end event of meeting with the football team. The second presentation was the middle school second teams and a review of the fall-winter athletics. A lot of discussion was centering around what sports to have included in the for second teams for the 7th and 8th grade, to give more opportunities for students to participate in interscholastic sports. Mr. McDaniel and Mr. Rach also went over the season, the number of kids that went out for the different teams last year and how many made it and how many were cut. The prospective teams for next year, or that would be for the second teams, would be 7th grade baseball, softball, boys and girls basketball, girls soccer, 8th grade football. The estimated cost, if we added all those second teams, would be about $100,000. The major challenge is facilities, having enough fields and having enough gym space for them. The action for next meeting, which is in March, is for Mr. McDaniel and Mr. Rachich to come back with a pilot program to get a couple teams started for next school year to see how that goes, and they will be reviewing that at the next meeting. There was also a discussion on adding extracurricular activities, and the conclusion was that there really isn't a lot of interest from the building principals that they see for adding any new extracurricular activities at the elementary level. The meeting ended about 7:25, and next meeting is Monday, March 12th. Any questions?
Thank you. Western Center, Dr. Dressler.
The board of the Western Montgomery Career and Technology Center met in a phone session on January the 8th due to the inclement weather conditions that we had then. The Administrative Director, Mr. Morrison, gave his report. The Skills USA competition will be held in March. Skills USA is a program that is used to develop employability, participatory, and leadership skills to complement the occupational skills that the students receive in their respective school districts. In the recruitment issue, we have 157 applicants so far, compared to 120 applicants that we had at this time last year. March the 15th is the deadline for applying for the program. In the exciting field of the tiny house, it's going to be shown at the RV show in Harrisburg in the fall, and a new tiny house will be started by the students next fall. The community dinner buffet, the very popular dinner buffet, is going to be held on February the 5th from 4:30 till 7 o'clock. Interestingly enough, the theme of the buffet is A Taste of New England, which happens to occur the day after the Super Bowl. And I'm sure that there'll be no need to be serving crow at this meal because of what the Eagles will do to the New England team. The school will also be offering a tea on February the 7th. The tea and the community dinner buffet are very popular, so if you're interested in attending any of these food events, you best make your reservations as soon as possible. That's the end of my report for the Western Center. Any questions?
Okay, PSBA, Dr. Dressler.
PSBA has made some adjustments in their organization. They used to have 15 sections throughout the state, and they've reduced that down to 8 sections. We are now in Section 8. There's nothing to be read into that. Our advisor is Art Lavinovitz of the Upper Dublin School District. They also have initiated a Keystone Purchasing Network program that we are now going to be able to use in order to get pre-bid contract offers. The Spring Legal Roundup program will be started, and there are many important topics that will be covered in that program. They will be discussing safety in youth sports activities / concussion issues, furloughs and suspensions, school meals, transgender students, and charter schools. And if any of the school board members wish to attend, there is a fee for that, and I can help them get to the registration of that program. It will be held on March the 5th at Central Montco Technical High School in Plymouth Meeting in our area. In addition, the nation's annual report card on the schools in the country gives our schools a grade of 74.5, or a C grade, an average grade. This is an evaluation is done by the Education Week Research Center. Pennsylvania does a little bit better than that. We have an average of 80.4, which comes out to a B- average. The U.S. Secretary of Education, Mrs. DeVos, has initiated a program called Every Student Succeeds, and every state has to submit a plan. Our plan has been approved by the Secretary of Education. This is a program that is replacing the thing that is known as No Child Left Behind. The program, some of the issues it's going to deal with is preparing students for jobs. In other words, how well are we preparing students for jobs after they graduate from high school? There will be an issue dealing with reducing absenteeism, and the governor's also introducing a program to reduce the amount of testing and time that is spent on testing, which I'm sure makes all the students and parents happy in the Pennsylvania school districts. In addition, the PSBA is asking us to consider, all the school districts to consider adopting a resolution to stop a bill that is being looked at in the Senate called Senate Bill number 2. That is a program or a bill that will enhance the prospect of voucher system. And it says, the PSBA says, now is time for school boards to take action to keep the momentum building against the latest attempt to advance a voucher plan. PSBA has drafted a sample resolution for your board to complete and adopt. The resolution is editable, and you can copy and paste it into your document with your school district logo. Please consider adopting the resolution at your next board meeting. I have passed out that resolution to everybody for their consideration, and I would wish you to read it over and perhaps consider our board adopting a resolution of this form or something comparable to it to try to put the brakes on the voucher system that is being proposed or being pushed forward by our state legislature. That's the end of my report. Any questions? Mr. DeBello, how would we proceed with adopting something like this resolution?
Well, you can say something like this resolution. We either adopt this resolution or we have to have a resolution put in front of the board for adopting, right?
Well, yes. I mean, we can edit this particular resolution to our own interests.
I would suggest if there's going to be consideration of this resolution, nothing occurs this evening. It would be something that we brought forward next month. I'm just seeing this for the first time. It's something we'd have to review as to whether there needs to be any tweaks in the language. And then it could be brought forward at a work session and then approved at the action meeting next month.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is this something that the board would be receptive to approving? We're not approving it, but is this something that you would be receptive to? Because I don't want to have Mr. Fitzgerald do the work if we're not receptive to the idea.
Personally, I'm not for it, and if the board were to consider it, there should be an education of what Senate Bill 2 is, because if you read that resolution, you don't really get any flavor for what it does.
You're not for SB 2, or you're not for the resolution?
I'm not for the resolution. SB 2, I don't have an issue because it doesn't affect us.
I'm sorry, how does it not affect us?
Because the SB 2 is limited to schools that are the 15% and below in achievement, which Spring-Ford's nowhere near. So it's something that Spring-Ford would not have to worry about, and most districts in the state don't have to. It's limited to those schools.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
According to what I'm reading from this PSBA notice, Senate Bill 2 is legislation to establish educational savings accounts or vouchers for students to use at private schools or with private vendors. Private vendors are expected to pick up again very soon. The bill is likely to be scheduled for action. So, I mean, this is to support a voucher program. I don't see how that doesn't apply
you have to know
us.
what's in the bill, because this doesn't tell you what's in the bill. The bill is, I read the bill, and it's limited to schools that are 15% and below in achievement in the state. And it takes the state portion of that school district gets, and if somebody chooses, they get that money put into an account, which they can use to go to a school that, in many cases, you won't be able to pay. Well, some like our district doesn't get a huge amount from the state, but some districts that get a much larger percent, they could perhaps have $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 towards going to a school of their choice.
So from the Montgomery County Legislative Committee, it was something that was communicated, and it is focused on the lowest 15% families would have to apply for this education savings account. If they're approved, what happens is a fund is created in their name under the Pennsylvania Department of Education. They hold that fund. Right now, the funding is looking to be at about $5,700 a year. If the student then chooses to move on to a private school, those dollars would then be earmarked to pay for that child's education. So that's really how this is structured. It will only be available to those districts that are within the lowest 15% from a productivity perspective within the state. I think it's a first step to vouchers being, to the expansion of vouchers. So it's, opening the door just a crack, and it will continue to build. And so we do need to look at, while Senate Bill 2 doesn't directly impact Springford today, if we don't bandwidth other districts against this, then 2 years from now, 3 years from now, there will likely be another bill that will impact us. And so we're allowing now the legislators to open that door. So
It's better known as the thin edge of the wedge, as they say. So where would we go with this? What committee would be appropriate to look at this and consider?
Well, I think
I read it that there is some general desire to bring a resolution back. So I will take a look at it from a legal perspective. I will share it with Ms. Fern and Dr. Roach, make sure that they have it good to go for the agenda next month, and then whether we want to support it or not will be up to you guys.
And can we get a little better explanation of what the bill is so people understand what the resolution says, so that if they're for it, they want to make sure the resolution says what the bill is for and that they understand what they're against.
yeah, I have summaries that I received from Montgomery County Intermediate Unit from the Legislative Committee, so I can certainly send that out. Also some speaking points that talk to the pros and cons of Senate Bill 2. So I'll be happy to share that with everybody, and I'll get that out probably tomorrow.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Okay. Legislative Committee, Ms. Mountain.
Legislative Committee did not meet due to weather. A summary was sent to all committee members. Key area of focus, again, was on Senate Bill 2. Also talking a little bit about the United States Department of Education approving Pennsylvania's plan under Every Student Succeeds Act, as Dr. Dressler had shared as well. And then just a couple notes regarding the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act at the federal level and the impact that will likely have on schools, again, with the 529 expansion and allowance to utilize 529 funds for K through 12 private schools. There are some questions with regards to kind of tax loopholes. Currently, Pennsylvania has right now contributions to the 529s are tax deductible. So really you could put $10,000 into your 529 and then turn around and use that $10,000 next year to pay your child's education, or later this year even. And so there's a question about the tax implication, and also again with the state and local tax increases and the implications that'll have on individual taxpayers, is that they no longer will be tax deductible, as they no longer will be deductions from at the federal level. So those are some of the key points.
Any questions? Okay, MCIU, we're actually having our first meeting of the year Wednesday, what is it, the 24th, this coming Wednesday. Assistant Superintendent Report, Dr. Roach.
Thank you. This Friday, January 26th, Springford has the distinct honor of hosting the District Choir Concert. District Choir is a group of 170 students from 38 different school districts who auditioned and made it into the special group. Mrs. O'Day is taking the lead role with hosting this concert, and there will be a brand new commissioned piece of music special for this night that will be a part of the concert, and there's a guest conductor coming in from North Carolina. We are anticipating a large audience of over 600 parents and community members, but there is always room for additional attendees. It's 7:30 p.m. this Friday night at the 1012 Center Auditorium. Hope to see you there. And also, as you look at the agenda, we would also be remiss if we did not stop to take a second and recognize and thank the following employees for their time, dedication, and commitment to the Springford Area School District. We wish them much happiness in their well-deserved retirement. So I'm going to read each of the names, and I'm going to give you the numbers of years of service just at Springford. Allison Brick, 13 years. Francine Caputo, 20 years. Bruce Cooper, 25 years. Denise Emmel, 13 years. Joanne Garrow, 19 years. Heidi Greenwald, 20 years. Susan Hess, 25 years. Regina Hoff, 25 years. Catherine Pogwist, 42 years. Mary Quintrell, 39 years. Ellen Riley, 16 years. Bill Rasik, 40 years. And Margaret Stackhouse, 20 years. Add it all up, that's 317 years total of Springford experience that they will be happily skipping out, but we're going to miss them and have big holes to fill. So congratulations to everyone.
Board have any questions, any comments?
Could I just add that on Saturday, Color Guard will be hosting an event here at Springford. There will be over 30 Color Guard units competing. It starts at 5 o'clock, and due to the number of units that will be here, it looks like it'll probably be a late night going on to close to 11, but folks are encouraged to come out. It's going to be a great event with huge participation from parents, students, community members, so we should add that onto your.
Well, Dr. Roach, you did give a list of our retirees, and as always, you know, Springford has a wonderful staff, and anytime we have somebody retiring, it's kind of a bittersweet. We're happy for them, but we're sad to see them go as well because they've had tremendous dedication to the district. But I will mention, not to, you know, shine one person over another, but I do have to mention Bruce Cooper, only because I probably have worked closely with him over the last 8+ years. And, you know, Bruce, I have to tell you that it is bittersweet because I know you worked hard your whole life and you deserve it's time to sit back and enjoy, but we are certainly going to miss you. We're going to miss your dedication to the district, your dedication to the facilities, you know, all the capital projects, everything that's going on here at Springford, everything that's gone on. I know personally, I'm definitely going to miss our conversations and our property committee meetings and, you know, teasing you a little bit every now and then. But I know that you'll be leaving us in good hands with people that you have working with you. You've been an excellent mentor to them, and I think that they'll be able to pick the ball up and continue forward and not leaving the district in any you know, bad, negative situation. You know, we welcome you to come back to any board meeting you feel anytime. We'll save a seat for you. Maybe we'll even get you one of these cushioned ones. But I want to thank you, you know, for everything that you've done for the district. You'll be greatly missed.
To add to that, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead, go.
Just to add to that too, your professionalism in all of your meetings when you're here, it's been wonderful. And I think that you are a fine example of the kindness that they spoke about earlier because you're one of the nicest people to interact here with. So I will miss you very much.
Okay. Well, I want to thank the board and everybody and all the administration, all the principals, all the teachers I've walked through the buildings with, and it's been great to work here. I've been proud. I'm proud to bring the buildings the way they are, and the staff I have is, just like Tom said, they can take over, they can handle it. I've been trying to mentor them to be where they're at today, and I think they're doing a great job out there for everybody here, and they have the Springford feeling in their heart too. So I appreciate it. It's hard for me to leave. I didn't want to, but things change in life and you have to, so that's why I'm leaving.
Just want to also add to that to thank you, Bruce. It's been a great pleasure working with you. Your dedication to this district is just incredible. Thank you very much for your years.
It was quite an extensive list that Dr. Roach read, so I'd like to also thank all of the teachers Mr. Cooper has been in some of the meetings. Mr. Rasich has been in several of the meetings with extracurricular. But again, 317 years of experience walking out the door between now and the end of the school year is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication. So thank you, each and every one of you, for that.
Okay. Now, Mark, be careful here for solicitor's report, because last week your fill-in did an unbelievable job.
It's going to be very brief. And it would have been nothing if not for what occurred today. As we know, the federal government reopened. But one of the agreements amongst the federal government reopening was an agreement with regard to the extension of the excise tax under the Affordable Care Act, which is a very real issue for an employer like Spring Ford, where the tax on health care plans will be triggered in 2020. They have punted that now for an additional 2 years to 2022. I think it's eventually going to be absolutely removed from the law, but that was a big deal today because we were within a year of triggering language in that regard. Yes, yes.
I think it's better known as Cadillac tax, but yeah, and I think that I agree with you that it's hopefully that it's going to eventually work its way out. Okay. All right. Meeting minutes. We have a motion for A through C.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any comment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Personnel, A through G.
Separate F.
Separate F. Separate F, okay. A through E and then G. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion second. Any comment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Do I have a motion for personnel under F?
So moved.
Motion second. Any comment?
Yeah, I talked a little bit last week about this, and one question I have and an observation is the question is, if we don't create this position, what harm or what will happen to the district? We're not going to collect the money, or things going to fall through the cracks, or what's the downside to if we don't fill this from, because we've been collecting it for some time now through some other means, and if we don't do this, what happens?
So for the past 2.5 years, we've gone through a lot of analysis on the operations, the workflow throughout the district. This has come up as an item for internal control purposes mainly, where there's a number of funds that flow through the buildings in various ways. And having the proper checks and balances. Mr. Dennert, you mentioned last week about maybe perhaps we can change a process to solve this. This position actually is a result of a change in process to better safeguard the assets of the district, of the activity funds, and all of those areas.
Was that ever mentioned, internal control issues on any audits we had?
It was not.
And the second observation I have is regarding we have 2 people retiring from the business office. Should we take a pause and determine whether or not how those 2 positions would be replaced in conjunction with adding another position to see if we might want to rethink how we do 2 or 3 positions?
Currently, the 2 positions that are leaving, one, as was mentioned earlier, is Mrs. Quintrell, who's been with the district for 39 years. We applaud the years of service and the dedication that she's had, and she's been extremely important to Mrs. David Heiser and myself, giving us the background that we need, all the history that goes on in the office. We are looking also for Ms. McCowiak, who also has resigned. She was our payroll specialist. So that position would be filled by, again, a payroll specialist. Mrs. Quintrell, on the other hand, handled things of general accounting matters. things that have to do with audit, things that have to do with overseeing of the workflow within the department, and certain payroll aspects as well, having to do with PSERS and those types of things. The position that we're talking about now plainly has nothing to do with those areas. This is a $160 million company, and it needs the right people in the right places to make that hum right.
Any other questions? I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, finance, A through G. Motion second. Any comment?
I would like to comment on one aspect of it, which is the home and school associations and the parent-teacher associations, which have been so helpful to the district, and again, express our deep appreciation, providing residents, artists in residence, et cetera, and it's just fantastic what you do for the district. Thank you.
Any other comment? Motion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Property, A through H.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any comment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Programming curriculum, A and B.
So moved.
Motion second. Any comment? All in favor, say aye. 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 Conferences and workshops, A through G.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any comment? All in favor, say aye. Aye. And other business, there'd be new business. Did I say G on that last motion? Yeah, did I say A through F? Did I say G, right? Oh, I didn't say it, right?
They didn't vote on.
I know, I didn't know if I said G or not.
You said G. You said
That was under
you said
conferences, so other business, A through F. I got ahead of myself. Motion, comment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, G is just 2 policies for first reading. Okay, at the end of the board meeting this evening, I'm going to call exec session for a quick 5 minutes to discuss a legal matter. I will, I'm getting there. Board comment. Public to be heard. The motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
second.
Meeting adjourned.